So all set. Just give me one more minute. Let me open my pen as well. One pen.
मैं तो खुद कम कर रहा हूँ.
Just give me 1 minute, guys. Let me see why pen is not working. Yeah, all good now. Okay, so let me share my screen now. My screen is visible, right, guys? Can you guys confirm if his screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much once again. So let's start our learning about this Palo Alto Firewall. And today we are going to do some interesting configuration part as well. And we'll try to understand a step by step how the firewall is going to be configured from very scratch. So the first thing, right, because we are starting this session, right, and we have the basic foundation about the firewalls. We discuss about the history of the firewalls. We discuss about the why we need the firewalls. We discuss about the what is the benefits of the Palo Alto firewalls over the other vendor firewalls. Likewise, we have the checkpoint firewall, we have the FortiGate firewall, we have the Cisco firewall. So what are the different benefits we have? Also, we had discussion about the different like modules which is available in the Palo Alto firewall. That is the Strata series of the Palo Alto firewall. What is that? That also we had done discussion about it. So this basic foundation we discussed, but still officially modules not started, which we are going to start today. We discuss about the Prisma access. We discuss about the Cortex XDR, right? And in addition of that, what else we have done discussion? Let me go here. We discuss about the like Gartner report as well, and we discuss how these three firewalls are leader in the market, especially for the Palo Alto in the FortiGate. Checkpoint also leader in the market, but still this firewall having the less demand in the market. And we discuss about the certification as well. What certification we can achieve by doing this like course. So PCN and PCNSC, we discuss about that. So I hope you guys are clear about that. Now we have to start with the modules, which is the official module. We have to discuss about that, about the single pass architecture with the parallel processing. So definitely we're going to discuss it. And also we try to understand about the flow logic, right? So we discuss about this architecture, we discuss about the flow logic, and this is all about the theoretical concept. So today I'm going to park this theoretical concept because it is going to definitely cover, and this is the first thing you have to understand. But I want to make session more interactive, more like informative in terms of the configuration, some initial like how the lab is going to look like. So at least you guys at least understand how firewall dashboard is going to be look like, especially for the Palo Alto firewall. And if I have the Palo Alto firewall available, how I can identify different ports, different kind of the connectivity. That is the RJ45 connectivity. We also have the fiber connectivity. So with that also need to identify. So let's say start the session. So first thing we are just going to talk this initial access of the system. So let's say suppose someone going to join the security team, that is a SOC team, okay? And you are in the SOC, that is known as the security operations like center. And being a SOC engineer, or might be the SOC implementation engineer, might be your a part, or might be SOC design engineer, means security design, security implementations, security operation engineer. It could be any role. You are working probably on the L2, L3, might be the L1 role as well, or might be the L4 role as well. So either of the role you are working, let's suppose someone give the very brand new firewall and ask you just do the configuration. So what is your first step and how you're going to visualize what is the step-by-step configuration I need to do that. So this is the first thing we have to understand, because before we going to do the more configuration, first thing we have to understand, let's have I have one product. So I need to understand how this product is going to be look like. I have the iPhone and I am the first time I'm going to use that. And I'm the Android user. So probably I'll be hesitant little bit. So I have to take a demo first. Might be I'll visit the Apple store. Might be I'll visit some kind of Reliance Trend, or might be the Chroma or some other brand stores who are selling the phone. I can try to explore how the feature is going to be look like, how the look and feel is going to be happen for this particular iPhone. And then I'll be little bit familiar, and then I can understand what is the great feature available in this particular iPhone, and you can just go for the purchase. So the similar thing, like you are coming from the routing switching background, you know how to do the router configuration, you know how to do the switch configuration. I'm just assuming, right? So basically, you've done the CCNA and CCNP. So router always we draw with this kind of design, means just represent switch. Always we draw this kind of design to just represent the switch. And in the router, we have the different port. We have the LAN port, we have the WAN port, right? We have the console port, we have the power port. Similar, also we have this switch as well. Switch generally just consists with the LAN ports, not the WAN ports, right? And they also have the console ports. So switch also have different connectivity. If my switch is the L3 switch, that can be also integrated with the WAN port as well. So we know that about this. And we also have seen the lot of routers are available on that particular image. You might be seeing in their home as well. That is not the Wi-Fi router. But what about the firewall? Have you guys ever seen the firewalls? Anyone in the class? Have you seen the firewalls? How firewall is going to look like? Any firewall? Anyone? I can see total it's 11 people. So anyone have seen the firewalls? Yes, no, maybe?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Anurag, you've seen the firewall. What about this guys? Dipanshu, Asim, Hirak, Kapil, Parth, Riyaj, Sangeeta, Suraj, you guys?
I have seen the Cisco firewall only, ASA and the firepower.
Okay, so you have seen the Cisco ASA firewall.
Yeah, and firepower 4K, 2K,
Firepower also,
3K.
right?
Yes.
Okay, very nice. What else, guys? What about other people? Kapil, Riyaj, Sangeeta, Suraj, you have seen guys any firewalls?
Yeah, Palo Alto.
Palo Alto, which model?
I don't remember the model actually.
Okay, no problem. Palo Alto, you have seen that. What others? Anyone else? Hirak, have you seen that?
Yes, Fortinet and Sonic Wall.
Fortinet and Sonic Wall. Okay. What would you, Suraj?
Yeah, I have heard over the FortiGate. Majorly, I have experience with the FortiGate firewall.
Okay, FortiGate firewall, you have seen that. Okay, so almost major of the audience have seen the firewalls at least. So if I talk about the firewalls, firewall is also a device which is going to look like similar to the router and switch. It's almost similar. Let me show you how it is going to look like. I'm not going to type any vendor name. I'm just going on the Google and let me show you look and feel how it is going to look like. So if I just go here and type a firewall and just go in the images, you are going to find a lot of network diagram. And when I talk about the network diagram, this network diagram, which is the wall, which having some fire, that is known as the firewalls, right? And you can see a lot of network diagrams are here, but actual the firewalls might be you're going to find this one. See, this is the one of the firewall, and this is a hardware available for firewall computer. You can see, and there are some computer hardware. I don't know what is a brand this, but at least we have something to see here, right? If I just scroll a little bit down, still please mute. Please mute. I request everyone please mute. So even you can see we have the different firewalls network topology and we have the representation, but still we don't have the physical firewall overview here available in this particular diagrams. So if I a little bit scroll more here, let me scroll it. You are probably going to find a lot of logical representation only, not physical connectivity. So one thing you have to understand, what is the firewall, right? And why this always going to look like always this having the fire, burning inside of the wall or might be outside of the wall, just a representation. So the logic behind it, a wall which is always going to be surrounded by the fire. Okay. The logic behind it, why the name is a fire. So first is the fire, second is the wall. That means one fire is always going to around the wall. And if you want to cross this wall, right? If you want to cross this wall, let's suppose you are coming from here and you want to cross this wall. So this wall is actually not going to protect you with the fire, and you are going to be might be stopped, might be you are going to be hurted by the fire. So you always have to take a special protections. You always have to take a special protection, and if you're going to take a special protection, then you might be able to cross the wall and you can avoid from the fires. So this is the concept of the firewalls, right? So that's why there are two words, fire and wall. That means wall is always going to be surrounded by the fire, and if anything is going to be happen bad around that fire wall which is surrounded by the fire, that is going to be hurt the any kind of the people which is going to cross that. And this is always going to represent in this way. Okay, even I want to draw any kind of like representation logically, so probably I can draw in this way, and this is going to represent the firewall. So I can just write this way. It could be represent the ASA, it can be represent the Palo Alto, FortiGate, anything. Router will represent in this way, switch represent this way, right? But firewall always this way. So you can also think about the logical representations. And this kind of also, you are going to get a diagram in the LLD and HLD. Now let's talk about how this device is going to look like physically. Router switch, we know that how it is going to look like. So if I just add a keyboard, firewall device, now you have the actual device list here. You can see. So we have the lot of devices which almost similar to the router and switch. You can see. And these devices are belong to different company. You can see this is like one of the rack mount firewall hardware. This is the another firewall. This is another firewall. There is no vendor specific, but you can see a lot of vendors. Cisco secure firewall. You can see, and these are the also another like you can say ZY XL firewall. So a lot of vendor firewall. This is one type of the firewall. This is the FortiGate firewall, right? This is suppose firewall, right? And what else? If I just go a little bit down, this is the Palo Alto firewall. So it's almost similar to the our router and switches, and this is how firewall is going to look like. So anytime if you have to visualize how my firewall is going to look like, so you just have to understand, right? Means it's a kind of device, and this device you need to purchase from the vendor, and this device is going to require the power. This is also required the okay, I just forgot this. Nobody recording will be available. It's available on the YouTube, so it's recording will be available. Anyway, thanks for reminding Anurag. So this firewall is going to be always available in terms of the hardware. So you require to give the power. You require to connect the LAN cable and WAN cable, both of the case. But this firewall could be the software firewall as well. So I'll discuss the software firewall in the second phase. Just allow me some time. Let me complete the first hardware firewall. Then we'll discuss the software firewalls, right? So now we understand how the firewall is going to look like physically. It's almost similar to the router and switch. Not a switch having a lot of ports. It's kind of similar to the routers. But if you just check the router devices, or maybe just type the Cisco router, So you're going to find a similar kind of diagram. See, this similar kind of diagrams you're going to get. So they router having also less number of ports, and they can provide your LAN and WAN connectivity. Firewall also having a less number of port, initially low model of firewalls. But if you have the high model of firewall, they having the high number of ports as well, where you can connect the LAN and WAN connectivity both. All right. Now let's talk about especially for the Palo Alto firewall. So if I talk about the Palo Alto firewall, so now you can see how the Palo Alto firewall is going to look like, and this is the hardware firewall. So you can see we have the different firewall here. This is the one of the firewall, latest firewall, and this is known as. Let me go a little bit down. In official of this particular, yeah. I don't. Let me see if I can open. Not able to open. Leave it. Let me try something else. Let me try via this link. If I can open. Okay, so this is again redirecting the same link. Okay, leave it. Let me try something else. Okay, let me try this link. This is definitely going to be open. I want to show you the new firewall.
फिजिकल फायरवॉल कब दिखा रहे हो?
दिखाऊंगा. I'll show you. Let me show you first here. I'll show you the physical firewall also. Physical firewall हम भी देखेंगे साथ में. So you can see, guys, this is the firewall, right? And this is the Palo Alto firewall. You can see it is written here, next generation firewall for the enterprise, branch office, and mid-sized business. What does mean? Means if you have the any medium size of the company and you want to use a firewall, this firewall is for you. Means the firewall model is 820. So if I look in the front panel of this firewall, we have the lot of information available here. And what are the informations? You can see, especially we have the information available that is the port related. So we have the port 1, port 2, port 3, port 4. And these all port are the RJ45 port that can be connected with the copper cable. Okay. So this is the copper cable ports connectivity. Then we have the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are the port, right? These all ports are the going to be connected with the SFP. That is basically fiber cable connection is going to be happen. So fiber connectivity port is going to be happen, and based on that, this is going to be connected. Yes, Ankur, you want to ask something? You raise your hand.
Ayush,
Ankur?
hello.
Yeah, your
Am I
name
audible?
Ankur showing it here. So you want to ask something?
Yeah, just need to know that on what basis the medium size and large is decided, on what factors?
Yeah, definitely. So we will discuss this. Definitely, we have to discuss. We have some upcoming sessions. We have the small range firewall. We have the mid range firewalls. So we'll discuss the design point of view, which factor is going to be play a very important role when we are going to select the firewalls for the small size, medium size, and large size for the requirement. Okay, Ankur. So definitely, I'll discuss it. All right. But probably
Okay.
you have to little bit wait. Let me complete
Okay.
this one, then we'll discuss about this as well.
Oh.
So thank you so much. So you can see we have this different ports as well. And in this port, we have the fiber ports connectivity. And based on this fiber port connectivity, you can connect the fiber cables and you can extend your LAN and WAN connectivity. So these RJ45 and the fiber ports, both can be used for your LAN plus WAN connectivity. Both can be used for the LAN and WAN connectivity, right? Means if you need the high speed LAN connectivity, high speed WAN, like more than Gbps, then you have to use this fiber ports, because ideally the ports come with the gig that are the 1000 Mbps, that is equal to the 1 Gbps. So if you want to extend the speed more than the 1000 Mbps, probably you have to use the fiber ports, which are the more capable. You have to read out the data centers which kind of the SAP you have to use, and what is the maximum throughput we can proceed via these particular ports. So we'll discuss about that data sheet as well. I'll try to show one of the firewall data sheet, and we'll try to understand all technical aspects of the firewall. What is the throughputs, what are the features, what are different kind of the connectivity, and how they are going to support the routing protocols and other advanced next generation feature. We'll see that, right? So these LAN and WAN connectivity is going to be extended via the RJ45 cable or might be the fiber cable as well. Now we have the special ports as well. You can see here, these special ports are HA ports, that is known as the high availability port. And why we need the high availability ports? Basically, in case I have the one of the branch, let's suppose this is my branch, and this branch having the dual ISP. This is my ISP A, and this is my ISP B. Might be your Verizon, might be your AT&T, and I have the, let's suppose, two firewalls here. Let me just select two firewalls, and these firewalls going to terminate these two links. I'm just showing the representation, and these two firewalls are connected with the switch, and behind the switch we have the clients. So behind the switch we have the different clients. These different clients have the different IP address. So let's say suppose these clients want to communicate with the Google. So this is about the google.com, and this is your primary path. So all traffic is going via this particular link, and you are accessing the Google, you are accessing the Facebook, you are accessing the Gmails, you are accessing the cloud application, you are accessing other applications, you are accessing a lot of things via this particular link. But what if in case of this firewall went down, in case of this link it goes down, then this might be user stop sending the traffic to the internet, means I will definitely going to lose my internet connectivity. So this is a problem. So similar, like we know that HSRP, we know that VRRP, we have understanding about GLBP, right? Sorry. So these are the protocol that's come under the FHRP, which is known as the first hop redundancy protocol. That is about the gateway redundancy protocol. We use that, and these are the three family member, HSRP, VRRP, and GLBP. We can use that to provide the gateway level of redundancy for any kind of device is going to fail in the network. So they are going to provide the redundancy to just switch the traffic to the another gateway. So seamless, my user are going to access the internet or my WAN infrastructure. Similar way, in this particular scenario, we have the failure conditions, means we might be have the failure condition, and because of that, my traffic is going to be drop at LAN itself. So I have to use some kind of the HA where these two firewall is going to work in the HA pair, high availability pair. So in case of this failure, still my traffic is going to route via this firewall, and via this it can be reached to the Google or might be any internet destination. So to meet that requirement, we require the special port connectivity, and for that we have the HA port here. By using this HA port, we can connect these particular two firewalls together. Even this HA port is not available, still we can achieve the HA. I'll tell you how it is going to be happen. Even by using this normal port, even we can configure the HA. But always for the high-end firewall, this HA port configuration is going to be available. And you can do the configuration for the HA, and then you can make the two firewall and a single HA pair, and then after you can just seamlessly send the traffic to the internet without any problem. So this is how HA is going to come in a picture. So I hope everyone clear about these ports, why we are going to use. And if we have the firewall, we have the LAN and WAN port, we have the HA port, you know about that. Any question, please raise your hand or ask me the question. Now we have the another kind of the ports connectivity here. And in this another port of the connectivity, we have the management port, we have the console port. So see, in Cisco router, most of the time we are going to access the router via the CLI. That is the command line interface. Have anyone accessed the router via the GUI? Anyone in the class? That is a graphical user interface. You guys, any configuration done on the Cisco router, Cisco switch by the GUI, or always from CLI? Any in the class have done this?
I have opened CLI but not configuration.
Means GUI you opened, but you're not
Yes.
done the configuration, right?
No, only from CLI.
Only CLI. Okay. Anyone? Have you logged in the router or switch from the GUI?
Yes, I have done.
Suraj have done. Great. So basically, see guys, you guys are keep working on the router and switches. Always it is going to work on the CLI. It is not a true case, right? Even router or switches are going to work via the GUI as well. But why it is not too much recommended to just do the configuration with GUI? Because the way they have designed the configuration to do the configuration of Cisco router, especially for the iOS based router, it should be only done by the CLI. So you can even log in, but as Anurag mentioned in the chat, one-to-one, I have login, but very some limited option to configure. So it's a true, right? We don't have the full-fledged configuration in the Cisco GUI where you can do all the configuration like by the CLI. But still we can log in, router and switch via the GUI. You just have to enable the HTTPS or HTTP services in the configuration. Once you enable the HTTP or HTTPS services in the configuration, let me close it. Yeah, so once you enable, there are two services, HTTP or HTTPS. These two services must be enabled on the router or switches. Then you can go in the browser and you just type HTTPS : and then you just type the IP address of this particular router or switch. They are going to, whatever the management IP is there, it is going to be accessible. So this is how the router is going to be accessible, switch is going to be accessible. But Palo Alto design was developed just opposite of the router or switches. Means you can log into the firewalls via the GUI as well, via the CLI as well, right? You can log into the firewall, but Palo Alto is saying if you have to do any configuration, the preferred way of doing the configuration is a GUI. Preferred way means you don't have to go in the CLI. Always you can do whatever you want to do via the GUI. Means you can do the configuration. You can do any kind of the T-shoot. You want to export the logs, you can do these all things. Any report, any kind of the data you want to pull, that all is available via the GUI. And this is very user friendly, right? This section is very user friendly. But if I talk about the CLI, this is little bit complicated. You have to remember the command and all. That is not a good, like going to give the like a good flavor to do the all configuration, troubleshooting and all. You can do that. There is no problem. Even everything you can do by the CLI. Palo Alto design the way that you can do everything by the CLI, but it's not much user friendly. So for the CLI, if I want to do the local access of the firewall, I can use the CLI access via the console cable. Means I have to connect my console cable in my PC. And from there, I can access the GUI access of the particular firewall, right? If I want to take the management access, then I can go and do the management access via just connecting the RJ45 cable here, RJ45 to my laptop or PC. And then I have to go in the browser and I have to do the HTTPS. And then I have to put the IP of the management IP address, which is by default 196.168.1.1. I'll show you how it is going to look like. And console, you just have to use the console cable. And then you can install the putty on your PC. And by doing that, you can take the console access as well. So there are two things just for the CLI and GUI, but still you can log into the firewall. We'll see both of the scenario, how it is going to happen in our labs. All right. Now we have some other ports as well. You can see we have the other ports as well. In these other ports, we have the USB port. We have the console port again. So console is same console here, but just type C kind of the connectivity is there. Just you have to use some short cable, that is charging cable. You must have seen your laptop, mobile, and that is going to be connected. And one side you can connect with the, RJ45, and that is going to connect with the firewall, and we can do that all connectivity. USB is something very important port to just any kind of data you want to export from the firewall. Means you want to extract the data, or might be something you want to copy from the USB inside of the firewall. So any kind of the license, any kind of the iOS you want to do that is also possible, and you can just use that particular USB port. And this is also going to solve your all purpose, and it is going to meet all your requirement. So this is how it is going to be. Please mute, guys. Anurag, please mute kar lo. Right. So this is how it is going to be look like, and based on that, you can import, export your connectivity, means any kind of the files inside of the firewalls. Then we have the different kind of the ports. You can see LED ports status. So we have the power ports, we have the fan, we have the alarm, we have the temperature, we have the HA, we have the status. So these LED is going to show you if it's a red, that means something in danger. It's a amber, that means something is warning. If it's a green, that something is good, means everything is good. Green, that means. So LED is also going to play a very vital role. So in case, let's suppose someone is saying, hey, my firewall is not remotely accessible, and you are in the SOC environment, you are sitting in the 2000 mile away, or might be 5000 mile away, or 10,000 mile away, might be your data center in the US, even in India. So you cannot fly there, you cannot go and check there, being engineer. So you have to arrange your local support who can travel to the branch, or might be already available on the branch side or data center side, and you are going to assist him remotely. Hey, can you just go in front of the firewall? Can you check what is my LED status? And if he's saying that LED status is green, then it's all good. Might be there are some kind of other issues, but it's saying like, no, my power is showing red, means there is some power supply issue. He's saying, no, my alarm section is showing red, temperature is very high, might be AC cooling issue. So different issue could be there, and based on that different issue, you can basically check what is happening, and you can just give the next step how you can resolve this. Now this is how the firewall is going to look like. If I just go, any question till here? Anyone have any questions, guys? Everyone good here? Okay, so I'm considering as a good. If you have question, please ask. Even if computer in Hindi, just ask me Hindi. I'll try to answer that also. Okay, no need to worry about that. Now let's suppose you have to do the initial configuration of the firewall. Day 0 firewall. If you have to do the configuration, then how you can do that? So first thing, you have to purchase the firewall, and that's the physical firewall, and you have to mount this firewall in the rack mounting. You just have to do that. This is the first step, the rack mounting. Second step, you have to connect the power cable, means with the power supply. So that is going to be happening in the back end, dual power, and you have to connect with this with the power. So why dual supply? Dual supply is very important. Let's suppose one power is going to be fail, one power source is going to fail. So still my firewall is going to get in a power, so that my services is not going to be interrupted. In a home, you have the multiple switch plugs, right? Sometimes our switch plug went faulty, cables went faulty, might be charging cable went faulty. So we have to be depend on the alternate kind of the cable and all. So if that is not available, then there is a problem. So similarly, in this case also, if we have the power cable, if any power is going to be create the issue, then you have the backup supply there. So the power is going to be on, then this power, after on in the power, this cables are, this LED are going to be green, and your firewall is going to be on. Now what you have to do that? Next step, you have the LAN connectivity. Let's suppose this is your switch, right? Behind switch, you have a lot of clients are sitting. But this switch need to be connected. So you just have to connect the one cable with the switch interface. Might be this could be the copper cable or fiber cable. Let's suppose this is a copper cable. So you're just going to connect the cable on this particular port. This is the RJ45 connectivity is going to be happen. So switch also required the power. So your firewall having the connectivity. This is for the LAN connectivity. So you have the LAN connectivity here. Now this firewall also required the WAN connectivity to just go on the internet, right? So you have to terminate one of the circuits from ISP to another port. So let's suppose this is the LAN, this is your going to WAN, and this is again your RJ45 connectivity. So now I have the LAN and WAN connectivity on the firewall. So my circuit has been terminated. Now I have to do the IP configuration on these interfaces. How can I do the IP configuration? I don't know. The on-site engineer is going to just connect the cable. But what about the IP configuration? So now it's your turn because you are the engineer, you are sitting in the NOC environments, it's your turn. How basically you can do the IP and all configurations. So for that, you are going to ask the console cable. Means not console cable, you are going to ask the console connectivity of this firewall. So you just have to set up the Zoom meeting or might be Teams meeting or might be WebEx. And based on that WebEx screen share, you can ask, you just install the putty in your laptop. After installing the putty in your laptop, you have to connect the console cable to your laptop and just share the console over the internet via using either of the software. Zoom, might be the Teams, might be the WebEx. So from remotely, you have to configure this particular firewall. This is the one approach, right? Once you have done the basic configuration, then you can take the remote access as well. Another way, let's suppose you don't have the console cable, but still you want to access this firewall. So what we can do that, let's suppose this user laptop having a subnet is 192.168.10.1 or 10.0/24, not 10. Sorry for that. This laptop having the LAN IP address configuration. Let me write the correct IP address. Is 192.168.1.0/24. Ideally, by default, this subnet is configured on every router. If not, you can change easily your IP LAN segment as well. There is no problem. You can change it. So your LAN NIC card IP is going to be this IP address. Any IP might be this is subnet mask. So you're going to get, let's suppose 10 IP address, 192.168.1.10. So this is your PC IP address. Now by default on the management interface, if you're just going to purchase any hardware based firewall, by default on the management interface, there is a hard coded IP address. It is just put during the manufacturing process. And this is the IP address 192.168.1.1. So you just have to connect the RJ45 from your laptop with the RJ45 cable, and they are going to be in the same network. And then you can get the GUI access of the firewall, and you can do the GUI configuration as well. Understand everyone what I'm trying to make a point? Everyone understand this? Means if I have this connectivity, one is the hard-coded IP available on the management interface. I want to configure it my laptop side, so I just have to use the same subnet IP address, and then it is going to be same LAN segment, and I can do the configuration. Let me show you the official documentation as well. It's my version, but let's see the official documentation as well. See, if I go here and I just type Palo Alto initial configuration, just type initial configuration and let's go in the web. And this is the link. Perform initial configuration of the Palo Alto firewall. So if I'm opening this web, you can see the first step. By default, read it carefully. It is written here. By default, the PSRH firewall has an IP address 192.168.1.1. Which interface IP address? This is your management interface IP address. So by default, this interface is hard coded with this IP address, right? 192.168.1.1. This is the default IP. Default IP on MGMT interface. Now we have to know default username and password. What is going to be happen? This is going to be happen admin and admin. By default, you can change it. So default username, we have this management interface. Default default IP is the management interface. Default username and password, we have the admin and admin. Okay. Now let's move further. You can see this is the same thing written here. For security reason, you must have to change this setting before continuing to the other firewall configuration tasks. For you must perform this initial configuration. And see, this is how it is going to look like. Install the firewall and connect the power supply. This is the same thing I explained. Means first thing you have to install the firewall, right? After installing the firewall, you just have to connect the power supply. After connecting the power supply, you can take the access from the CLI via the console cable or via the GUI by going on this IP address on your browser, right? And then you can do the all other configuration. So let's try to do this lab, guys. Let me try to do this same lab in Day0 lab, how it is going to look like. So let's suppose this is my Day0 lab. So what I'm going to do, let me connect one firewall here. Let's forget about this. Just forget about this. Let me delete it. I'm just going to start from very scratch. So this is my firewall. Let me just select the firewall. And where is my firewall? Yeah. So you can see this is the firewall. Let me take this a 9.0 firewall. Or let me take 10.0 firewall. And I just simply make it on this firewall. Okay. So you just have to click and you just make it on it firewall. Now, in this firewall, if you check that, this firewall having default configuration, you can say some CPU is a virtualization environment. So you don't have to worry about that, how the virtualization is going to look like, because it's a virtual. I'll tell about this virtual firewall also in the upcoming sessions. But for time being, what I have to do that? I need to access the GUI of this firewall. So I need one PC where I can connect this firewall with the PC. And based on that, I can take the access either via the CLI or GUI. So if I want to take the CLI access, that means the console access. Right now, it's a virtual environment, so we cannot connect my PC with a console cable. This is not possible in the EVNG platform, right? So what is the way to take the console of this firewall? So you don't have to connect any PC, just double click it. It will automatically create a console session in your browser. So let me do that console access. So I'll simply double click on this firewall and see this is the console session has been created. So now I'm in the console of the firewall and we can see this firewall is getting booted and it's trying to boot, trying to load some daemons, trying to load some iOS version and all configuration or whatever it's at. So it is going also for the post verification, right? PAN-OS integrity and root file system post verification it is doing. Some are showing some error, some are showing okay. So it's normal things. So we just have to wait for a while, then it is going to be completely boot and it will prompt with the username and password. We have to put username and password. Then this firewall is going to be logged in. So it will take 5 to 10 minutes to become ready. Meanwhile, what other thing I need to do that? So other thing I need to connect one PC because I also need to access the GUI of the firewall, means via the web interface. So for that, I just connect one window PC and I simply go here window PC and turn on this PC as well. Now we are good. What else? Now, as per my definition, this window PC or laptop must be connected on the management interface of this firewall. So my PC is here. This PC must be connected with the NIC card to the management interface. And this is going to form as the RJ45 connectivity. So by default, one IP is going to be here on physical firewall. And you have to define the same subnet IP address, could be 192.168, 1.10 or 1.2, 1.3, whatever you want, you can do that. And this is how it is going to be connected in the another side as well. Okay, guys. So we are good till here. What next? Next, we have to go here in the lab. Still it's booting, you can see that. I can simply go and select the cable from the NIC card. You can just go here and here is the firewall side. Firewall side, you can say choose the interface. We have the Ethernet 1, 2, 3, but we have to connect to the management interface. So now I'm going to connect this on the management interface. So now my connectivity is done. My PC is on. And now we have to see whether this IP is already configured or not. And if it is not configured, what is the logic behind it? In a virtual environment, I'm talking about the physical firewall, it must be there. But in the virtual, this IP won't be there. We'll check why it is not be there. Right? So let me on this PC. First, let me do some assignments. So PC password, if you want to use that, you can note it down. 123 is the PC password. Okay. If you want to log in this PC, you just have to put 123. So I'll put 123. And this PC is getting boot. So let me do some setup for the IP addressing and all. So I'll go in the network settings, properties, adapter settings, and here is my local LAN area network. So I'm assuming this interface have this IP address. So I'll configure the same subnet IP address .2.100.10, whatever you want. So I'll go on this particular PC network provider. I'll just give the same subnet IP address 192.168. Sorry, 1.2. And I just give the subnet mask. Default gateway is not going to require here because they are going to stay in the same subnet. So I'll just click OK. OK, right? And my PC have this IP address configured. This PC have the IP address configured. You can see here. If I just go in the IP config, this IP has been configured here. Now what next? Once we have this IP address configuration on this PC, and I just put the restart later. If you want to adjust some screen resolution, you can just do the adjustment from here. I'm just telling from very scratch, so you can just do the similar way in your lab. So you just set the screen resolution 1440 900, and it is going to look like very nice PC now. Keep changes and click OK. So this has been done. Okay. Now it's time to the Palo Alto Firewall. See, this Palo Alto Firewall is now showing to just provide your username and password. So as I mentioned that by default username and password is admin and admin. So we just have to log in with the admin and admin. So right now, although this firewall having a different password because virtually we have quoted there, but initially when I just talk about 9.0, you are going to find the similar password. Admin, you have to change that password. This is a 10.0 firewall. So in this firewall, basically you can see how can you change the which model of firewall I'm using. So there is two series of the firewall. One is a 10.0 firewall, which is the latest one. One is 9.0, which is the old one. So old one, definitely you have to use admin and admin whenever you want to use. This one have the fixed password, I'll tell you. But new firewall, you have to always use the admin and admin. So that's why two flavor are here. One is the cracked password. One is the you have to set up every time. So both I'll show you later stage. Once you boot the firewall, it will take 5 to 10 minutes to just take the credentials. See, I'm trying to put the credential. It is not taking the credential. So it doesn't mean I'm just putting the wrong credential. No, it's completely fine. When the firewall is going to boot, it will take minimum 10 minutes, 7 to 10 minutes to just complete the boot up. So we have to wait a little bit. You can keep trying it is not going to lock your account, but you just have to wait. Meanwhile, we are waiting. Anyone have any questions? Anything? Let me try again. You may ask if you have questions, please. Don't be hesitate.
Hello.
Yes, Dipanshu.
If we want to access by a console remotely, can be accessed?
Yes. Remotely also can be accessed.
How can we access?
See, console remotely to access this firewall, you have to connect one, like we have the console cable, right? So you have to console the PC here, right? And this is the one way, and this PC must have the internet, and you have to install the Zoom, right? Or Microsoft Teams, then you can access. This is the one way, right? To access this firewall via remotely, but you have to use the PC, laptop, install Zoom and all. Another thing known as the OOB, which is known as the out of band. Okay. So what you have to do that you have to purchase the out of band device. This out of band device have the console connectivity, which is going to terminate on this particular firewall. And this is going to connect with the ISP, right? And they have the control center where you have these all console connectivity. So you just have to access this box and or might be the OAB, and by accessing that particular device, you can just log into the devices remotely. So console having the only two way, either you have to deploy the out of band connectivity, or might be you just have to take the like local IT support by going there. You can just take the console on the particular local PC, and then you can share that console over the Zoom or might be Teams or might be the WebEx. Clear, Dipanshu? You understand?
So basically, this out of band management port is connected to the terminal server, right?
Yes, terminal server, right?
So how the terminal server work means how can access remotely?
So you have the ISP, na? See, so this whatever the IP is going to, it's going to publicly accessible. The IP is there, na, terminal server. Also have the ISP IP. Like you have to access this particular firewall. You have the management IP address, right? MT IP address. And this IP address is advertised by the internet or your MPLS circuit, and that is reachable to your location, your PC or your office network. Similarly, this out of band is also connected with a different network, not your in-band company network, but they also having a terminal IP address. You just have to SSH those IP address, then you are going to connect a terminal, or might be you have the portal. Okay, different vendors having different solutions. You just have to log into the portal, and after going to portal, you're just going to see the different kind of the devices are there, and then you can directly click, and it is going to make the connection to a device. Have you logged in the Dipanshu ever? OAB terminals?
Yeah, daily I log in, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure what is configured in the terminal server actually.
No worries. So this is how out of band is configured, right? So terminal server is similar to your router, which is going to access remotely via the in-band network. But for out of band, you have a different type of the network. No worry, you understand it. But for time being, you can see we have successfully logged into the firewall. And once I successfully log into the firewall, this is my firewall first interface. You can see admin PA VM firewall interface I'm seeing here. And if I want to see something on this firewall, the first thing I want to see whether this IP is configured or not on my management interface. So how can I check that? There is a command. So interface management. So if you run this command, it will show the management interface IP address. But see, unfortunately, we not have any IP address configured here. There is no IP address configured here for this management interface. So my concept is wrong, right? So really, my concept is wrong if it is a physical firewall. physical firewall, physical firewall always configure with 192.168.1.1, but VM firewalls, there is no IP address, management IP, no IP. So we are dealing with the VM firewall. That's why there is no IP address. So you have to configure manually the management interface IP address by taking the console. There is no choice. Without console, you can configure the IP address via the management. This is the only option we have. So we have to define the IP address on this interface first. But how other command we can check? So this is the first command. I want to check the management interface IP address. Another command, we have the system configuration of the Palo Alto Firewall. So I just have to go here. So system info. And you see, this is the host name of the firewall. The IP address is unknown. Public IP address unknown, netmarks, IP assignment, DHCP. This is the most important. I'll just focus this DHCP. It will create some problem. And these are different kind of the model. You can see version of the firewall. You can see other wildfire license, app version, everything you can see it here available. But we don't have the management IP address. So how I can define the management IP address on this firewall? So you just have to go in the configuration first. And you just have to write configuration. That's it. Now you are the edit mode. You can see there is an edit mode. So I want to set the IP address on the management interface. So what is the command to set that? You can just write this command as well. So set device configuration, or you can just write device config. You have to write all together. Set device config, then you have to use the system. System means it is just indicating firewall system, management interface, system IP address. That means it is just pointing the management IP address. System IP means it's management IP address, right? And you have to put the IP address. What is the IP address I want to put? 192.168.1.1. And netmarks I want to put 255.255.255.0. So my IP has been configured on the management. This is a single line command. You guys want to take a snapshot, you want to write, you can write this, because you have to do this configuration as well from your side as well. So the command is set device config system IP address. This is, we don't have to define the default gateway for time being. We'll see later stage how default gateway is also going to be required, because we are going to stay in the same broadcast. So this is fine for time being. Now this configuration, if you do in the Palo Alto Firewall, this configuration is not going to apply in the running configuration by default. If you're going to do any configuration in the Palo Alto Firewall, like the router, if you're doing any configuration, it is going to immediately come in effect. If you go in the configuration, type any IP route, any port shut, any static route, right? Any BGP, it will immediately going to be reflect in the configuration. And something went wrong, that going to immediate outage. But in case of the Palo Alto, this is not going to be happen. So what we can do that? If it is not going to apply the configuration, then we have to use the special command to make them apply in the running configuration. And that is known as the commit. So you just have to use the commit. And once you do the commit, then this configuration is going to apply. So let me do the commit. So I'll use the commit and you have to wait. So this config is going to copy in the running configuration, whatever the line configuration we have written here. But still we have the one more problem here. Even after doing this, we're not going to get the management IP interface on the management port. So just wait. So it's 55%. You can see it's converted. 75% commit has been done. It will take a little bit of time. It's a normal time. You don't have to worry. So once it is going to be 100%, then the commit is going to be completed. So almost 98%. So it's taking a little bit of time. Just wait. So you can see now it's 100% completed, and you can see the configuration committed successfully. And there are some certificate related things, so you just have to ignore it. But most important, the configuration has been successfully completed after 100%. So now let me see whether this interface have the IP address or not. Right? Management interface IP address or not. So I'll just exit from this particular configuration and I'll just run the command source system info. But still you see this interface doesn't have any IP address. So there is a problem, right? We are not good. So let me go again here. So interface management also, if I run the command, still there is no any IP address. So why it is happening in this way? I did any mistakes? The answer is no. Absolutely, the configuration was fine. Configuration was taken by the firewall, but still the IP is not reflecting on the management interface. So what is the problem? This could be the real-time problem. You're doing the configuration, but it's not reflecting on the interface. So you have to do the troubleshooting as well. So the main problem, if you just go in this command, so system info, you're seeing that one most important thing available on the system configure, the IP assignment method is the DHCP. So till the time this configuration is there, this system interface configuration is there, as a DHCP IP assignment, it will never going to take the static IP address. So we are trying to put this interface IP address as a static, but you saying that your assignment is a DHCP. So it will keep try to get IP address in DHCP. Still you have the configuration, but it will always try to keep the IP address from the DHCP. So this is the reason it is not getting the IP address on this interface, although I have the committed the configuration. So we have to change this IP assignment from the DHCP to static, then automatically my configuration is going to be applied here. I don't have to add that configuration again, but I have to just change the assignment method here. So let me go here and I'll simply go in the configuration and set device config system type, and here I'll just put the system type static from the DHCP. So system type, I'm just changing the assignment method from the DHCP to static, and now I'll just commit it. So you'll see that after commit what is going to be happen. So again we have to wait. Every time when we do the configuration, you want to apply in the Palo Alto file, you have to do the commit. No other choice we have. So just wait. So 2 minutes we have to wait, then it is going to be commit. So again 55%, 60%, 75%, 98%, and it is going to be soon completed the 100% as well. Then this configuration is going to apply on the running configuration. So we are still waiting. Okay, so now you can see again the configuration has been applied. So let me exit from here again. And if I now check the source system interface, source system info, you are going to see that the IP has been assigned. See carefully here. The IP has been assigned here. All right, let me make it a little bit wider bracket, see. And the assignment method you see here. Earlier it was DHCP, now it's become the static. So we have successfully assigned the IP address on the management interface. Now, if I just check the again here, so interface management, you can see this is also assigned the IP address. You can see this is the IP address, this is subnet mask. So now in this firewall, I have the IP address. This PC also have the same subnet IP address. So if I trying to ping from this PC to this interface should be reachable. Let me try that. So I'll go on the window PC and in this is my terminal and I just try to ping 192.168.1.1. It should be reachable. If it is not going to reachable, I believe I make something wrong. Okay, 192.168.1.1. See, this is pingable, right? So if I am able to ping, then I can able to take the GUI access of this particular firewall. How can take that? If I want to take the console, I have to go here, means not console, I have to take the SSH and telnet. Console is directly, we have the browser. But if I want to take the SSH telnet, that is also possible from this PC. Remotely, you just have to go, you can see I'm doing the SSH. So if I just go there, then it is going to prompt me the, window and I can just log in. So this SSH is giving me the access remotely because I have the reachability of the management interface. And I can able to log into the firewall via the CLI via doing the SSH. So this is my CLI. I was also already have the console access, but I can take the SSH now because my firewall is reachable from my PC and I can run all the commands. So system info, if I want to run, you can see this is all running here. But what was the GUI? To access the GUI of the firewall, you have to go on the browser. You have to go on the browser. And after going in the browser, you have to go in the browser. And here you have to type your management interface IP address. So I'll go here and I'll type here HTTPS. And I just put 192.168.1.1. Once I'm done, probably you're going to prompt with the window. And it is going to give the warning. Just ignore it. It's just certificate warning. It's not matter for you. Just login warning. But yes, we are going to land on the Palo Alto Firewall page. So now you can see we are on the Palo Alto Firewall page and I simply go and add this here, admin, and the password I'm going to put it here. And this is the 10.0 web UI, right? User interface. So if I have the 9.0, sorry, that color would be different. 9.0, 8.0, 7.0, they have different theme, blue and white kind of theme. But if you have the 10.0 and above OS version 11.0, these are two latest one. This is the most stable 10.0. So always you're going to find the graphics or web UI as a white and yellow, right guys? So simply I have put it my username and put it my password, and this is my real Palo Alto Firewall dashboard. And sorry, I simply go and click here, login. So once I click, this firewall should be login. Let me try it again. I don't know why it's log out. See, it is creating a session. So now I'm going to enter the real Palo Alto Firewall dashboard where I'll see all the configuration and I can do whatever I want to do that. So this is your Day0 lab, guys. still you have to do lot of things in upcoming sessions, but yes, you have to start from here. This is your baby step. You have to do this. You have to get an access to the Palo Alto Firewall. You have to do the administrative setting of the Palo Alto management interface, CLI interface. What is the DHCP? What is the static IP? How to check the management interface configuration? How to set the configuration of the management via the CLI command. This all day 0 you have to do that. If you like fail to do this, so probably in upcoming session you have the challenge to do other configuration as well. So I am assuming everyone have to go with this particular recordings and have the lab access and perform these all actions. Lab access is definitely going to be provided to everyone, and you guys get that and do these all kind of the like testings. So now you can see that this is a dashboard, and this dashboard having a lot of information. Dashboard, ACC, monitor, policies, object network. So we have to go each and everything one by one. So this is not right time today. I'm not going to cover each and everything. It's going to take a lot of time, right? So, but we have to understand what is the dashboard, what is my application command center, ACC, what is my monitor tab, what is my object tab, what is my network tab, what is my device tab, right? And each and every sections we have to do a lot of configuration as well. And most important, you can see here it's showing that we have the CLI access as well. Let me go in dashboard again. Let's change the skin. So you can see we have the CLI access as well. That is my console access. This firewall is CLI access as well. This is my console access, and also the web access as well, which is my GUI access. So you can see the GUI access is showing that the IP is 192.168 or 192.168.1.2, and this is again CLI, but one is for the console, one is for the SSH connection. So you can see even the console is written here. So the window you seeing here, this window, this is your console connections, and it is showing here you are login with the console as well. See, CLI with console. And this CLI is something which is you just taken the connection from this particular session. If I close this session, this is going to be removed from this list. You'll see that. After some time, it will going to remove this, terminate these sessions. It's going to live for the idle some time, and it is going to terminate. And these are the web which I just try to log in the firewall. And this is the, you can see management interface of the firewall, which we just configure, and this subnet marks. So for today, I believe we are good. Like start, we have done the good start, and we understand the basic configuration. And I believe we are good to just how to take the GeoX of the particular Palo Alto Firewall, how to do the day 0 configuration and all. Please let me know if you have anyone have any questions, so we can conclude the sessions. I don't have to say much today, else it was going to be very long. Any question anyone have in this particular, how to log in the firewall and small step of the login the firewall? Are we all good? All good, guys?
Yes.
Okay, so I believe I get some reply as well. All good. Thank you, guys. So I believe we can conclude this session, and let's connect in the next class, and we'll do the remaining configuration from here, right? All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
सर
See you again.
सर एक डाउट है सर ये नेक्स्ट क्लास कब होएगा सर बिकॉज एवरी टाइम आई एम रीचिंग टू
Yes. So don't worry. Initially, we have the problem we just going very slow, right? But from Monday onward, right? This week we are going to have today. What date? It's a Tuesday, right? So we are going to have the Thursday. Tomorrow we not have the class because we have to have the holiday. So day after tomorrow we have the class. Okay, Jayad?
ओके सर
Okay, and then you'll get the permanent Zoom link, so you don't have to track anyone. Okay, no need to worry about that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you again. Bye bye.